I am Brian Needs. Is that working? Hello. I am Brian Needs. I'm one of the city council members, and I'm on the local government corporation. And we have worked at this for a long time, and I think it's important for everybody to realize here tonight that what we're discussing in terms of projects is nothing new. These are actually decisions that were made now in 2010, moving into 2011, where we at that time committed to what it was indeed we wanted to do. What we're presenting to you tonight is exactly how we intend to do that. And it demonstrates where our partners are, talk about how it works. The mayor will appreciate the net. We're going to let them kick the tires around a little bit. And I think if you go back into 2007, 2006, and 2007, there was a document developed, and I was glad to see that I think everybody's here tonight. The chairman was Richard Ware, Richard Brown was on that committee, and Les Simpson was the secretary of that committee, with a lot of help over many different generations of various organizations. And it was called the Downtown Amarillo Strategic Action Plan. I'm sure you've heard of it before, and this is really was our roadmap from the beginning. Because it was very apparent that, as the mayor pointed out, that we were really rather going the way of upper Midwest Rust Belt in downtown Amarillo. And there were some visionaries who said, we've got to work long, we've got to work early, we've got to work hard. And Center City was the first now for almost 25 years. And there have been hundreds of people go through their boards, and with the input of multiple organizations, most of which the mayor pointed out, we've had really a consensus of opinion around the Downtown Amarillo Strategic Action Plan. And therefore, I think it's really important that we look at what kind of stewardship you've seen from your various organizations around the city. And Melissa Daly has a handout to this effect, which discusses indeed what the plans were. And I just want you to give you an idea of what they were at that time and where we intend to go in the next 10 years. The goal was to develop 400 to 600 new housing units in downtown. We're on track to develop those. You will see those accelerate as you see additional what we call catalyst projects downtown. We were committed to developing one or more hotels with 300 plus rooms. With this project, we'll be there. We were going to develop 400 to 600,000 square feet of office space, attract 6 to 10 new restaurants, develop the governmental and financial business center more completely. We were going to recruit collegiate campuses downtown. And as you know what's happened with AC and with WT. And in fact, there's an expansion for WT in the works in that regard. We were going to adopt urban design standards, which we've done. And in fact, we've got a downtown urban design review committee, which has worked multirously to help make those more user-friendly to individuals. We were going to build some kind of multi-purpose events venue to try and get more people downtown, try and get more ambulatory traffic downtown, and try and support sales tax revenues downtown. So I guess what the point is the vision that people like Richard Ware and Les Simpson and Richard Brown had early in developing the Strategic Action Plan is becoming a reality. And this is just one more step along that line. And so what Mr. Brown is going to go into tonight is, with our partners, how we're going to begin to do the hotel and the parking garage, and then what's to come next after that. There's a lot of details. Take your time. We're going to be talking about this for a while, and be sure to get all your questions answered. Thank you.
So my part tonight is to talk specifically about the project that's in front of us at the moment, and which has now been pushed up to the council to ask them for a change in the resolution that was first passed in the summer of 2011, so that we can go forward with this project. So we say catalyst project, meaning we think, we hope that things will happen around this project. I think most of us probably believe that government can't do it all and shouldn't do it all, but it can certainly help. And what we are trying to accomplish here is to bring together in one place a synergy of new buildings, new events, new things happening, which will encourage private investment. So we're here today to talk about what now appears to be about a $92 million catalyst project. It's centered on a hotel, and that hotel is intended to be the headquarters hotel for conventions. I was convinced that we needed it, but I didn't know why I was convinced of that. And then one day Dan Quant said, Abilene gets more conventions than Amarillo. Abilene, do you know where Abilene is? This is impossible. So it's clear that we can do better at this, and one of the reasons we haven't done as well as we would like to do is if you are booking a convention, you're going down a checklist of what do we need, what do we need. Right up at the top of the list is headquarters hotel. Can't make the check, you go in the round file. There's plenty of other cities that have that. So we're looking to get that hotel built, which will give Dan and his staff the opportunity to book more, bigger, better conventions and to spur economic growth throughout the city. The project will ultimately include more than what we're talking about today, which is the MPEV, the multiple purpose events venue, ballpark to most people, but we expect other things to happen there as well. So where are we right now? Well, work's already started, and I'm really surprised to say that the public side of this has worked faster than the private side. The capitalist in me is just affronted by this, but nevertheless, that's the way it's played out. And perhaps we should take the positive view and say, don't we live in a great city with a great city staff who can make things happen? In case you haven't noticed the big ditches going on out there, it's 5 blocks of utilities being relocated and expanded, which needed to be done because I think they dated back to the 20s. And for the first time, all the utilities are being put in the same ditch and put in at different levels. That's underway. Projected date for that to be finished is somewhere around the end of November, I think. We've also already begun taking core samples and through ground penetrating radar to see what else is going to be out there as we go forward with these projects. That's some of the things the city has been doing, but the Amarillo Economic Development Corporation has also been busy because the ballpark needs a space to go. And that space is where the present Coca-Cola distribution center is located. So they've got to be moved out before the ballpark can be built and moved in. So we've begun a review of that property, but they also have to get out of the way. So here's a picture of the new facility. I mean, isn't this astounding? There's a new facility out there, and you can already see it going up. And the relocation agreement has all been finalized. The building's under construction. When that building is done, Coca-Cola moves out. We do a little more site work, and then everything gets knocked down on the present site of the Coca-Cola facility. And then here's the first thing that ought to be going up, and that's the convention hotel. And this is the piece that's the most fun to talk about because this is a $45 million private investment. $45 million from somebody saying, I'm going to bet on Amarillo and I'm going to bet big. And I'm going to bet on downtown Amarillo. And who is that? That's Newcrest Image, limited liability company. And they are familiar to us because they are the same people who did Courtyard by Marriott. So here is a developer, a hotel operator who has done this before in many other places. And they've done it right here, downtown Amarillo. And it works so well for them, they're back for another bite of the apple. I can't imagine that we would have better luck in terms of getting someone to go forward with this hotel than to have the very person, the very entity, the family who's already done this once before. So the broad picture is, this is a public-private partnership going forward. Approximately $45 million is coming across into the hotel. And then the garage and the MPEV are essentially funded through public dollars, and we're estimating that is about $47 million to get that part done. There are handouts, which I hope you picked up as you came in. This is part of that, and these are a summary of where's the money coming from. to read this thing, you read across the page. So if you're looking at the convention hotel, you want to know where's the money coming from. Well, the budget's $45 million. What's the funding source? Well, it's Newcrest Image who's coming up with that money. But there are some public incentives to Newcrest in addition to their $45 million. And then the security for the debt is just an explanation of, okay, so there's got to be a lender, and how are they going to get paid if this doesn't work out? The incentives that are going into this, the tax increment reinvestment zone number 1 has granted a 90% rebate of ad valorem taxes. And then there is another piece of money coming from the local hotel motel tax, which is generated by the hotel itself. And then there is a rebate of state sales tax. In each case, what this hotel is getting under those is either mandated by state statute or it's what the tiers chose to do. And the 90% rebate is sort of the traditional model that tiers has used. Further down the page, there's the parking garage and multi-purpose events venue. I'll just talk about the parking garage, $14.3 million. This will be a bonded or certificate obligations funded by the public. And the pledged revenue from the parking garage, the facility fee off of the Civic Center tickets, these will be the money streams that come back to repay those bonds. There's a picture. That's like a today picture. You're looking down 6th Street, and to your right is the parking lot for the Globe News Centers for the Performing Arts. That's where the hotel's going to be. And to your left, the vacant lot there, that's the block that's already been cleared off by the city in anticipation of building the parking garage. So that's today. Where are we going? Here's a concept for where we are going. So is it going to look like that? Well, no, it's not going to look like that. That's some artist drawing it up. But it's the idea of what it's going to look like. And is it going to happen? Well, the streetscape part of that, that's already baked into the cake, because we made a grant application to the Texas Department of Transportation about a year ago, Melissa. And so we have money coming from TxDOT, and there's a matching part of that coming from tiers, which will make the streetscape part of it happen. And so the trees and part of the feature out in the middle of the street, those things are coming, and they are just part of this total project. It fits in with this project. So on the right is the hotel, on the left is the parking garage, and if you will sort of get the picture that the parking garage is anticipated to have retail on the ground level with parking up above. So let's focus on the hotel for a minute. How big is it going to be? 225 minimum rooms. Why? Well, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 6 years, I can't remember, the first hotel study said, well, maybe you could have a hotel of 225 to 300 rooms. So ever since then, we've said 300 rooms, 300 rooms, 300 rooms, because that sounded like a nice round number to us. But as we got into this and we met with people who run hotels and build hotels, we found out that 300 rooms was too big for Amarillo and would not work for us. So we've stepped down to 225 because it's the right thing to do here. We don't want a large empty hotel. We want a hotel that's full and making money and is kept up. So it's the right size for this market. It's actually on the high end of this market given our experience, because we got so much pushback on going larger than this. The hotel we're looking for, when we started, we thought, oh, what should we be focused on here? And we finally zeroed in on, well, what we need to be focused on is we want a nice hotel. That's what we want. And we really don't much care how we get there or what the details are. We just want a nice hotel. So what is a nice hotel? Well, you know, if you walk in one, you know what it is, but there can be a difference of opinion between you and the next guy as to what that is. But we know it's gotta be full service, so you've gotta have a restaurant, you gotta have a lounge, you gotta have a pool, fitness center, business center, etc. That's what this hotel is going to have. This hotel is going to be nicer than any other hotel in Amarillo. It's going to have other facilities. It's going to have 17,000 square feet of convention and banquet space. And it's important because of the location and the way this works with other facilities in the neighborhood. You need to be able to get from the garage to the Globe News Center for Performing Arts and back again. And so the layout will be such that you'll park your car in the garage, walk across the street, walk through the hotel, and pop out on the other side at the Globe News Center for the Performing Arts. Who's going to build this thing? Newcrest Image has tentatively selected Merriman Associates Architects, Inc. to do the building. Who are they? What have they done? Here are some of the things they've done and some indication that, yes, they can do this.